How Mitakuyepi. Hello everyone. Today's date is the 29th of March. And I just want to make some comments about what's happening in the world, and something that's really got my attention the past few days is how people in America who have the right to be in America, that they are being detained by this organization called ICE. And even people who have the required visas and all the paperwork necessary for them to be in America legally, when they come into America, many times they are stopped by ICE and taken to a room and questioned and detained. And I know many of you probably know the case of the woman who was coming in from Canada and how she was detained for several weeks. They take away her phone, and she was not allowed to contact anybody. As in America, usually when you're arrested, you're allowed a phone call. But in these situations, you're not. And I know of a case in the Southwest where some people were detained and they were in a detention center for several weeks, and finally the family started to question. And I think they got a lawyer, and the lawyer was able to find out where their friend and relative was. And after a lot of, I don't know what kind of meetings they had, but they were able to get them released. And they all tell the same story. They took their phones away. They were not allowed to contact anybody. They were not allowed legal representation. So there's no due process in these situations. And a lot of countries in Europe are telling people, don't fly to America because it's tourist time, holiday time, and a lot of people are planning to spend their holidays in America. And you may be asking, well, why are they coming? Because of the political turmoil that's happening. Well, a lot of these people, they planned their trips last year before the election in America. And so they didn't know how bad this was going to be. And now it looks not good. And also, several weeks ago, the president of America, I don't want to say his name, but he made this proclamation, what is it, an executive order, saying that America only recognizes two genders, and that you are the gender that you were born with. So if you were born as a male, then you're a man. And same thing for a woman. If you are born as a woman, then you're a woman. You're female. No exceptions. That's crazy. So, some of these countries here in Europe, they're telling their transgender people, don't go to America because they don't recognize their gender. What's going to happen to them if they go? They'll be detained, and it's horrible. And now all these tariffs that are happening, and here in Germany, the government is saying they're going to stand up to him. They're not going to succumb to his tyranny in his plan in making America the greatest and richest country in the world. This is classic duality. Duality is when you take something that's whole and then you separate it into two components. And maybe you're one of them, yeah? And you say, we are the best. We are the smartest. We are the only enlightened ones. We are the chosen ones. And everybody else is an enemy. That's what's happening. Well, it's always been happening, really, all over the world. But now it's really extreme with one president, one leader of a country trying to elevate his country above all other countries in this world. This creates addiction. It creates victims and abusers. And right now, the American leadership is acting like an abuser. And especially the way they treated the Ukrainian leader several weeks ago. It's ridiculous. And how they come to other countries and put down other countries. The vice president came to Munich, here in Germany, and told the people here that they're violating democracy, democratic rules. You see, what happens in duality, like I said, you have an oppressor and you have a victim. Yeah? And what happens is the oppressor is always saying, we know what's right, and if you follow us, then everything will be good. If you don't, we will prove to you that you are wrong. And if you still do not join us, then we will hurt you. We will destroy you. And that's exactly what the American government is trying to do. Now, I don't like to talk politics. I don't want to get political here. But I want to point out that if we react to what they're saying emotionally, then we are really falling into their plan, and we are victims. So we have to react from within and not as a response to their words, because they're speaking out of closed-mindedness. They don't see the fullness of reality. In reality, Lakota Star Knowledge says there's at least 3 perspectives, and sometimes there's more. But there's always at least 3. And what happens in an unhealthy society is that one group says they're right and everybody else is wrong. But since Lakota Star Knowledge says there's 3 perspectives, well, the people that are saying they're right and everybody's wrong, that's one of 3 perspectives. That means it's only 1/3 of reality that they accept, that they view, that they comprehend, that they try to define. And so really 2/3 of reality, they deny that it exists because they're calling it wrong. They're calling it evil. And so when those people talk, they're not seeing the full reality, which means they're very judgmental and close-minded. Now, how we see the world around us is a reflection of how we see ourselves. So when you look at this group of people, they see themselves as above everybody. And they don't see the full reality, like I said. Likewise, they don't see the full reality of themselves. They do not know themselves. They don't want to know themselves. Just like when they say to everybody else that doesn't agree with them, and they say, you're wrong. It's like just a part of them is functioning. And what that means is that there's parts of themselves that they are neglecting, which means they're sick, they're diseased, because they are addicted to power, trying to use fear. Well, they do use fear to control everybody. And that never works. So their plan of making America great again, it's not going to work. They will not achieve their goals, because in duality, it never works. It's unhealthy and it never works. But it can be influenced to change for the healthier. And this is one of the reasons why I have my YouTube channel and why I talk about these things of finding peace within yourself by taking care of yourself, your total self, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And when you do that, you create peace and love within yourself, and you comprehend your total self. And that means how you are inside of you is how you will view the world. So you see more of reality, and you see difficulty as an opportunity to learn things and become healthier and acquire wisdom. And this is a great difficulty that's happening right now, and we can transform it. But we got to communicate from within and not as a response to what they say, because then you just have two people arguing with each other with unhealthy energy flying back and forth, and that's not going to get anywhere. So it's important, to try to have peace inside of yourself, and take time to just go within yourself. Do some breathing exercises. Just listen to yourself. Breathe. And with each breath, go inside of yourself and think about how everything is connected inside of you. Visualize it all being in peace. Then when you see the world, you can look at this difficulty with a clear mind and an open heart, because we need to use them both to perceive reality. And then we will be able to find ways to influence healthy living. So we can deal with it in a healthy way and not let it overwhelm us. And like I said, sometimes these stories can really get us all worked up emotionally. And at that point, we have to calm down, maybe burn some sage or light a candle and talk to the fire, talk to our grandmother Earth, drink some water, talk to the grandmother in the water. Take deep breaths and let the air come inside you and strive for peace. Visualize and think peace and love for yourself, and then that goes naturally to everything around you. You don't have to agree with everything, but you can still have respect and agree to disagree and still have peace. And the difficulties, you'll be able to transform those into learning experiences. And this is all about establishing home, inside of yourself. In Lakota Star Knowledge, we have this sacred symbol that looks like the letter X. And so you can see the two triangles. And the bottom part represents many things. It can represent you, and the top part can represent the universe. And so how we see that universe is a reflection of what's inside of us. So the two triangles are reflecting each other. Well, when you look at this symbol, you can see the resemblance of a teepee, our home. And that's why they were shaped like that. In the home is supposed to be like a reflection of the top part, which is the universe, and that all natural laws come from the center of the universe. So we reflect that in the home by learning and living these natural laws, generosity and things like that, that we communicate in a healthy way and respect one another and all the things that I've been talking about. We learned this in the home. So our homes should be like that reflection, that our homes should be where we are living these natural laws, that it's a safe place, that it is a place where you feel loved and acknowledged and honored and valued. And it begins within us too. Yeah. So how we are inside of ourselves can really influence the healthiness of the home. And then we influence each other. So the home is very sacred. You see that, like I said, in the reflection. You see the home in the shape of this sacred symbol. So you can be home anywhere. First, you establish peace within yourself, or you strive for it. And where you live, now project that to your home. You don't need to have fancy furniture and things like that. Yeah, you just have a home where you have peace. And like, would you take care of yourself as best as you can? You do the same thing to your home. And when you take care of yourself, it influences you to take care of your home and each other. And we teach those who are the children. We learn from those who have life experience in the home. Maybe it's our grandmother or somebody who has a lot of life experience, somebody who's wise. And all this is strengthening the home so that whatever storms come our way, the home protects us. But we make that protection by how we live. So this is something that we can do, especially in these times, that we look at our home and we look at ourselves, and then we start taking care of ourselves and doing things that make us feel good. Not to ignore what's happening, but to take a break, and do something to, do something, whatever your talent is, to do something with that and encourage others, interact with others in your home, entertain each other, talk, tell stories, talk about good times, because that's all medicine. And then together we can look around our home and find things that we can do to keep it a place where there's love. Keep it a place where there's peace, that you like being here. You enjoy to take care of it, which could mean cleaning, doing the housework, because how our houses are, our homes, they're kind of reflections of us. Because it's always the reflection in Lakota Star Knowledge. So when we do this, we are really reflecting, like I said, the natural laws up there. And we can draw more to us. Now, in this letter X, this sacred symbol, where the two triangles join, this is a very sacred area. And when we live in a healthy way, in our homes especially, the second star knowledge concept comes into being called like attracts like. The first concept is reality begins within. That's why I'm always talking that take care of ourselves first, and then we can take care of our homes, because inside of us we're home too. Yeah, and then now we build our home of love, with love and compassion, understanding, acceptance of each other, respecting and loving one another. And then that's reflected in the home. And what we're doing is we're inviting blessing to come in from the universe, because we're attracting it. We're living in a healthy way. And whenever you live in a healthy way, you attract blessing to come to you. And sometimes a difficulty may come first, but that's to prepare you to receive that blessing. So in our homes, when we are doing our best, number one, at taking care of ourselves and taking care of our homes and each other, we are calling for blessing to come. It's kind of like a prayer. Just the act of building love, nurturing love in our homes is a prayer. It is calling for blessing. So prayers, they're not always words. Yeah? And we can sing in our homes too. When we sing, it does something to our bodies, and it does something to each other, and it brings medicine in the home. So it's a good idea to do that, yeah? To sing and talk about things that are nice, and maybe even talk about difficulties that we came through, and the things that we learned, and how we achieved success through difficulty, and acquired wisdom, knowledge to help one another, and to understand what difficulty is, that we do this as a family. And then when we look at the world, we can say, wow, that's a really big difficulty, but we can live through it. And the home is a wonderful place to help you with that. So value your home. Take care of it. And again, when you look at that sacred symbol, it looks like a teepee. So that's why our teepees were made that way. For that reason, it's a star knowledge symbol. Our homes were literally a star knowledge symbol. Now, that doesn't mean we have to live in teepees. Your home now, you can still make it a reflection by how you live and how you live with one another. And this is a good way to not let things overwhelm you, but to hope, and always keep in mind, through great difficulties come great blessings. There is a great blessing coming. But we have to be ready to receive it. And the way to do that is what I was talking about in this video. Having this outlook on life that I've been talking about in the past few minutes. We'll be ready to accept it. We'll be ready for it because we're calling for it. Yeah? When we live in a healthy way, we're calling for that great blessing to come, and it will come. Oh, Mitakuyepi, hechetuelo. That's the way it is. That's the truth.
Tunga shila wa kantonga Ushimana ushimana Tunga shila wa kantonga Wache Tunga shila wa kantonga Ushimana Shankuluta ognama wane